Hello, I'm Martin Fencka and welcome to the first episode of Let's Play King's Bounty 2. So King's Bounty 2 for me was probably the most anticipated game of this year. I'm a big fan of the series since like 2008 when King's Bounty The Legend was released. So I was planning to start the series right after the release of King's Bounty 2. Unfortunately, because of my surgery and then some complications during the recovery, I wasn't able to start it up until now, but I guess better late than never. So let's jump into the game. Or maybe one more thing before we do that. If you know the previous King's Bounty games and didn't check this one, they made quite a few changes. So the game is quite different compared to the previous games. I did a short test run to get used to the changes, learn a little bit about what they change, familiarize myself with the new stuff. But just saying that you might be a bit surprised with how the game looks like. Okay, let's jump in. Here we already encounter probably my biggest disappointment with the whole game, and that's the lack of difficulty settings. I can't believe they didn't, or they don't have that. From what I've read on forums, they are planning on adding it up because people were just complaining about it since release. So at some point they want to add some kind of difficulty settings, but for now it's not there. So you can only choose the class that we're gonna be playing as, or not really a class, the character, or character and class, because we have three different characters. Each of them has a different class. So Ivar is a warrior, Catherine is a mage, and Alyssa is a paladin. I did my test run as Alyssa, and I was quite disappointed with her, especially with her dialogues and her overall. I don't know, the way she behaves. She felt very childish or childlike. I don't know, just didn't really feel like a paladin at all. But from what I've read, Catherine feels much better, or playing as Catherine feels much better. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll play as Catherine the Mage. So let's read a little bit about her. Catherine comes from a long line of noble Regarian counts, the rulers of the rugged mountain region of Nostria. She spent more than 20 years away from Nostria, roaming the dragon ruins and the remains of ancient Antis, looking for arcane knowledge and magic. Unexpectedly, even for herself, Catherine stopped receiving the taxes she needed to fund her expeditions and mystical research. Apparently, Catherine's nephew Morris had taken over her county. Outraged by this, she headed to the Universal Assembly in order to demand the return of her power from the king. And that's a little bit of our background. Now, our talents that we have. We are, of course, the sorcerers. Mistress of the Arcane and powerful sorceress uses the most powerful spells in battle. No surprises there. Magic of air and fire allows learning air and fire spells from scrolls. Earth and ice, the same thing except different schools. Then we have finesse balance 1. Morale penalty for finesse ideal units is reduced by 1 when combined with units of other ideals. This one, it's just suggesting that we should focus on finesse ideal units, but early we won't really have that much of a choice when it comes to units, and later we can just pick up perks that will allow us to use whatever we want, so this is not really that relevant. And then we have Insidious Maneuver. When dealing damage, allied units have 25% chance to remove a random buff from target enemy and apply buff to itself. Well, this is nice, of course, when it procs. Problem is 25%, that's too much RNG, so we can't really play around this. Just sometimes get surprised that we succeed and have a nice buff on some units. So what's really relevant is just that we can learn spells, which is not that surprising as a mage. So let's jump into the game. There should probably be a short intro animation, if I remember correctly. Although I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Kingdom of Nostria, Albion Heights, Fort Crucis. So that's where we are starting. In the Age of Prosperity, year 320.
Get up! Come on, hurry! The Warden is calling! Are you really going to save Nostria, as they say?
Huh. That's an interesting opener. What are you driving at?
You can discuss it with Warden Valber. Come out of that cell, I'll escort you.
Well, if the Warden himself is asking, how can a simple countess refuse?
Let's go. You know the Warden doesn't like to be kept waiting. The sooner you get to his office, the sooner you'll learn everything. I can tell you this much. It's good news for you.
Okay, so as you can see right away, this is not like a AAA title. The graphics is honestly quite obsolete, but that's not what King Bounty is about. King's Bounty was always about story, and even more importantly than story, it was about the combat system, which was always a treat. It's a little bit weaker, I have to say, in King's Bounty 2. They simplified it, removed some features, but they added different ones. So I think it's still engaging enough. It just really needs the difficulty settings because, well, I have to say, for many people, it might be very difficult getting through some of the fights in the game, but if you are a veteran of these types of games, you just want some extra challenge. You want to have the option to increase the difficulty. But well, there's no point in talking about it. The settings is not there, or setting is not there. So let's just start playing. Okay, there are some cells around here with people, so we can just listen to what they have to say.
Take it to Sister Sophie. She's in Marcella, you know, and she's personally acquainted with Prim. All I stole was a single, cute little baby chick. Well, it was Illyrian. They're green. How was I supposed to know it was meant for the royal broth?
For now, this doesn't really mean that much, but later we'll get quests that for which some of the information will be relevant, or just will then like help us maybe understand a little bit more about those quests. What is this? Prison routine. Wake, personal hygiene, breakfast, lunch, singing the anthem, community service, carpentry, wood carving, animal care, singing of the Crux prison anthem, dinner, pious reflection of the benefits of solitude and work, sleep. Okay, nothing interesting here.
Years. I've spent 7 long years in here.
What are you talking about, old man? This prison was only built 7 years ago.
Exactly. I was sent here together with my king.
Hold on. Did you serve Vitellius?
Yes, friend, but not in the past tense. I still serve. I remain loyal to my king.
Okay, that's 1. 3 to go.
Closer. I'll whisper to you.
What is there to be frightened of?
Oh, you don't know, Counselor Montier.
I can't get any worse for you. What are you in for? Speak.
I didn't support him when he decided to take the gargoyles away from the mages. It consumes an ungodly amount of mana, you know. But the calculations I presented showed the expenses were small.
Politics is a dirty business. And you're maybe not as clean as you'd like us to think, huh? I believe that Councillor Montier stands for the common people. That's precisely why you speak ill of him. Just wait. Damien will soon arrive and explain everything.
Who's this Damien character?
Who is he? He's the Artisanian envoy to the Crown Lands. Everyone knows of him. All right. I can stand 1 more month here if I have to.
Ah, I had heard you were an Artisanian spy, but I thought it was a tall tale.
I'm a merchant, and I have the invoices to prove it, as well as letters of passage, wagons, goods.
Really? Why are you here then? Skip out on the grain tariff, did you?
Why do I waste my words on the likes of you?
Bludgeon controls all the roads around Marcella. And what use is this Cedric of yours, huh? Who's even heard of this fool?
Anyone who's ever set foot outside Rickville, your bludgeon won't poke his nose beyond the borders of Rickville in case it's chopped off. Cedric holds the lands, from Rickville to Windyport, down to the last blade of grass.
Every mosquito is a griffin in these backwoods, and Bludgeon commands the wild folk right up to Marcella's walls.
Okay, so that's the prison cells. Now this one is empty, but there is a the tablet that's probably worth reading. The wild tyrant Vitellius served his sentence in this dungeon, deprived of the opportunity to work evil. He withered and soon died. Anything else? Nothing there.
I served time under Vitellius and Claudius. Now I'm serving time under Adrian. But it looks like this will be the last time I serve.
Wait, what the hell was that?
Definitely your last. You're probably right, my friend. I thought I was covering Tweet's run-of-the-mill bureaucratic thievery, but he was caught with his greasy meat hooks in the royal treasury. And I only learned about it while standing before the judge. And he was not the understanding type either. Tweet sure let me down. He did.
I have no idea who was talking there. Whatever. Empty there. Nothing interesting here.
They ran off to who knows where.
Where could they run? There's nothing but snow and hungry wolves for miles. The Batil gates guard the bottom of the mountain. No one will let them go farther than that. And the opening near Witch's Stone is being knocked down right now by Rossum's golems. It's better not to be on the wrong side of a golem's fist. We jailers are like doting nannies in comparison. A golem is a mountain of clay without a soul, without a heart. One punch and he'll shatter your bones to dust.
Golems are dangerous, no doubt. But you're new to this area, Bert. Otherwise you'd know there's another road to Rigor. It's not in the best condition. It's lying abandoned now, and there's danger of landslides. But it's there nonetheless. I suspect that the dwarves used it to leave for Rigor.
Okay, and this is where we should be able to get out of the prison.
Your belongings are in yonder chest. Take everything or you'll freeze to death. The prison's warmer than outside, slightly. Pestilence has struck Montpetrie. The quarantine is everywhere. Mages forced to wear masks like common bandits. The undead are climbing out of their graves all over the Crown lands. I wonder if the necromancers have returned, like in the olden times. It's a good thing Crucis is in the middle of Mactus knows where. Or Mactus is nowhere. The troubles can't reach us here. It's nice and safe.
Okay, now let's pick up our gear. Well, gear. Not really much, just top coat and a little bit of gold. So let's check the inventory. Nothing like super fancy here. This is all of the items that we will have, and this is the equipment that we are using. So weapon, shield, helmet, chest armor, gloves, belt, boots, some kind of a necklace, 2 rings, mount, and a trinket, I guess. That's how this slot is called. Then characteristics, arcane knowledge, grants ability to research and upgrade spells, increases amount of mana available in combat, magic power, increases damage dealt by spells by 2.4%, and the duration of periodic spells effects by 1 round for every 75 skill units. Then warfare, that we don't really care about as a mage, increases allied unit damage by 1%. Nothing here so far. What else do we have here? Our talents. These are the talents that we are starting with. The rest, there is no point in going through all of this right now. We'll always check our options when we get a level up. Here we have quests, and here we have a map. For now we don't have any units, so we can't check our army. Okay, so that's that. And let's get the hell out of here. Oh. Attention, a dragon has been spotted over Albus Bridge. In case of dragon situation, prisoners are advised to lie down on the cell floor and cover their heads to protect from the lizard's fiery breath. Okay, good to know that there is a dragon somewhere.
Individual now.
So let's follow this guy. This is where we're
Marie,
supposed
you
to go.
blockhead. Didn't you hear? A messenger arrived today, all the way from Marcella. Then you should know that he brought an order of release from the prince himself.
Okay, and now we can talk to the Warden.
Disturbing news, Sir Warden. Something is rotten in the state of Nostria. There's a pestilence upon the Mage factory. Refugees from that quarter are arriving at Marcella, but aren't being allowed into the city.
I wish we could kick some of these bastard prisoners here out into the cold.
Then the cells would all be empty. Because only the rottenest bastards serve time in our prisons.
It's so peaceful and quiet here. Have you not seen the living dead yet? Best not take the air near the cemeteries around Marcella. The undead are ferocious. They rage as if something had driven them from their graves at spear point.
What are mages good for anyway? Does no one at the tower care about the situation?
Ha! Mages. Almost all of them have gone to solve the problem at the Mage factory. However much they investigate, they cannot find a solution.
Our Rossum is of the same ilk. His excessive smarts don't seem to do him any good.
What about Madame de Guillan's salon? Do they still serve the best wines?
Are thoughts of wine the only thing floating around that brain of yours?
Oh, but of course. Madame de Guillen maintains the highest standards. Have you ever tried a fresh vintage of Fusk? When you're in Marcella, hit the park.
Yep, so they're done. Now we can talk to the Warden. Come on.
So much fuss and all for what? Who the hell do you think you are, making me wreak havoc in my prison?
I'm Catherine, Countess of Rigern, in case you've forgotten.
Well, well. I heard a little more than that. As Flavius the Wisecracker eloquently wrote, there's nothing new in this world. But I haven't received a letter like this in all 7 years of my tenure at Crucis. Prince Adrian orders that you be freed and sent to Marcella. Also, you won't be leaving here on foot. I was ordered to return your gold and belongings, provide you with a horse, and, let me read it aloud, allocate some of my own garrison as your personal guard. Madness!
As that same Flavius the Wisecracker of yours wrote, there is always a kernel of sense in madness.
Whether the prince is sane or not is of no consequence. I cannot disobey my liege. Bastian should have returned your money and belongings by now. If he didn't steal them himself. Quartermaster Aston will supply you with weapons. As for gold, you have plenty already. Go to Decim to collect your guards. He has a platoon of troublemakers he's wanted rid of for a long time now. He'll be glad to hand them over. I also advise you to purchase some dogs for the road. And what else did His Highness request? Ah yes, a horse. Levitt the stable boy has a soft spot for nags too old and worn down to work. I'm sure he can pick one out for you.
It looks like the local climate has changed your temperament for the worse.
Okay, so, before we leave, let's check the book. I think they added the option to disable the highlight of interactable items, but kinda don't want to miss anything during the Let's Play, so I think I'll leave it on. Selected remarks of His Majesty the King, collected by quoted writer Flavius the Wisecracker. So this is just some flavor text, I guess. I like to eat apple salad in the morning, just sitting by the window looking at the fields, eating salad. Suddenly I find myself gripped by an unexpected pang of sorrow, such sweet sorrow. I don't like these crowns and helmets, too much pressure on my neck. I owe a lot to my parents, especially my mother and father. And the tree doesn't fall far from the apple, and Adrian is a nice boy indeed, if you know what I mean. People around the world perceive me not only as a king, but also as a spiritual leader. I feel happiest when I am truly happy. A person you see is much larger than his own stomach. Okay, so this most likely doesn't really mean anything. Is there anything else here? Probably not. Fine. So let's just get the hell out of here.
To have some mercy in his soul.
Why do you say that?
Think about it. Our king threw someone in prison, and his son releases him. Any minute now, he might decide to release all the prisoners. Then where would we be? Without our livelihoods is where...
Oh, don't be such an idiot. If that's so, we'll simply find new jobs. Crucis will have lost its purpose, and we can return home to sun and warmth. Remember that?
Yes, I suppose you're right, Mail.
Well, I will probably have to skip these random dialogues because though sometimes you can get useful information out of them, there is just way too much. And I'm not sure that I want like half of the series to be just me listening to random NPCs that most of the time don't give anything like directly relevant for what we are trying to do.
Where are the wolfskins? They used to bring us 100 at a time. Vanished as if burnt by Arik. You get everything running smooth. Everything in its place, and everything's working.
Okay, I'll just talk to this guy.
What do you need, human? A shovel, perhaps? Have you been sent to the stables, too?
Careful with your words, short one. I'm a countess. Don't you dare compare my royal self to a stable hand. Now give me a weapon and be quick about it.
Oh, sacred forefathers. Why would I ever do that?
Because I'm free again. Any more questions?
By Mactus's horns. This is the first time I've ever seen a human leave Crucis on their own 2 feet. If you got gold, treat yourself to something new. Go ahead.
I thought that we were supposed to buy something here.
Aston didn't shortchange you on equipment. I warrant you'll survive the Albion Highlands. Go, human. May your body be as hard as flint, and your soul as clear as crystal.
Well, a dwarven poet.
Okay, so I barely remember that what we need to do before we leave is buy one item from this guy, then get units, and then get the horse. So let's do that as quickly as possible. This is already equipped. What is this? Letter of passage, and these gloves give us +1 magic power. Okay, now to get units, I think we get those here.
Lumberjacks brought us our firewood?
No, they haven't.
What's taking them so long? What if wolves ate them like they did with Raud? We're gonna freeze to death without fuel.
Okay, let's just talk to this guy
Halt!
again.
What are you doing here? You're not permitted to be wandering about like a stray cat.
I'm no longer a prisoner, Decim. You're to give me a suitable number of soldiers as escort to Marcella.
So, Centurion, it's true. The Warden received a missive from the Prince ordering the provision of a guard troop for the prisoner. Former prisoner.
Huh? Never heard of a prisoner being released. Ah, well, I believe I have some laggards and troublemakers I can spare.
Can I go too? Oh, how I miss the sunny warmth of the capital.
No, Bastian, you're not rotten enough to let go. I can still make a decent guard out of you.
I heard your worthless conscripts are accompanied by mangy fighting dogs.
The only thing you'll be getting for free is a family of bedbugs. I spent a year training those hounds. Now, if we're talking about an exchange of gold for flesh, that's another bowl of kibble entirely. You'll get the best dogs in Nostria.
Sounds too good to be true. Are they really worth the price?
These recruits might not be the brightest candles at the feast, but my fighting dogs are as fierce as the Warden himself. You won't regret a single gold piece spent on these animals.
Okay, so once again we have to trade with him again, and here's our army. So each unit has a set of stats. I don't think I want to go through everything. I'll maybe just mouse over everything, or over the basic stats, and eventually, or as we are recruiting more units, we'll only focus on those that we're gonna be keeping in the army. These basic units don't really have anything interesting. So let's recruit the dogs. And by the way, this is our leadership. And each unit requires a certain amount of leadership, like per unit in the stack. So one spearman requires 130 leadership. We can have up to 3 because that's 390. To get the fourth one, we would have to increase the leadership cap, of course, to have 4 times 130. So that's what, 520. I hope that's not wrong. We will be getting more leadership as we are leveling up, and I think from certain perks we can also get more leadership. So for now, this is all we can get. In the army, we can have up to 5 different units. Each unit has its own levels and also like an alignment. As you can see, these are order units, and then there are 3 different like alignments: order, finesse, and I don't remember the last 2 honestly. And if you have units of different alignments, they have like their morale decreases unless you have certain perks that mitigate it. So usually you are trying to get like units that fit together, but well, depends on like what build you want to take. Sometimes it just you want to take the best units that you have and just invest some perks to negate the morale penalties, because if you have low morale, it's actually pretty significant. It can lead to up like your units skipping turns, so the penalties can be pretty nasty. But in some cases, some units are so strong that it's worth the penalty. So we just see what we run into and how the final composition is gonna look like. But maybe early we want to stick to like 1 alignment. Okay, so that's units. And now we pick up our horse.
Is a good man, even though he's
This guy, I think? Yeah.
Ah, it's you. You're the one who poisoned that scoundrel Claudius. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
I wish it were me, but...
Don't be modest. You did a great thing here, and history will not forget you.
I think I've seen you somewhere, stable boy. Were you responsible for delivering horses to Rigern? Oh, by the way, what I really need right now is a horse.
All you're asking is a horse? Just a horse? Have no worry. You'll get our best. Saddle up quickly. You've probably forgotten how to ride after half a year in a cell.
You can go now. Actually, wait.
What now?
I wanted to warn you about sentry golems. Be wary of them once you're past New Tyrene.
Tell me more about the golems.
The Mage Russum took them to clear a landslide. What they lack in brain, they make up in brawn. Since they don't know you've been released, they're liable to crush you. As you pass the southern ruins, find the Archer's squad commander, Ansel. The royal messenger said the squad will join you and augment your escort. I'm hoping that by the time you get there, they'll catch the marauder who's been raiding abandoned houses. Wonder why old Baron Garius didn't turn him into a chicken.
Who's this Baron Garius? Another escort?
That's up to his magicness. I have no authority over him. Perhaps he'll decide to leave these cold, inhospitable lands for the warmth of the Mage's Tower.
Come on, mount up. I picked out
Okay,
the very
so we
best.
have everything that we were supposed to get. Oh, this is our horse. We can jump up and get out of here. This way? Yeah, this way. These are, if I remember correctly. Oh, by the way, like it's almost impossible sometimes to control the horse. So that is a little annoying. But maybe I'll just need to get used to it. I don't know. Here, do we need to activate these? Probably not. These are like waypoints for quick travel.
Not surprising that people want to leave the Highlands. The climate here is worse than in Rigor.
And here we're gonna do our first combat. And I think that will be all for this episode. Let's see how long this takes. Probably shouldn't take too long, so maybe we can just check the village after that. So here we are fighting wolves, 2 stags. This is also just wolf. Okay, so this stag has 2 wolves, this stag has only 1. I will try to do fights without losses. After each fight, if we lose like any amount of units from a stag, if we don't lose the whole stag, we will be given the option after the fight to just pay money to replenish the stag back to full. The only way how to permanently lose the unit completely, or the stag, is if we lose all of the units in the stag. Then it's unrevivable, I think. But I will try to play in a way that we won't even use the option to replenish units after the fight. I will just try to play completely without losses. Probably not in all fights. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be able to do it, but in some fights I would probably need a couple of reloads, and I don't think I want to do that. So I'll just try to do my best to not lose units at all. If it happens, it happens, but I will try to avoid it. So let's jump in. I just hope that I don't lose units already in the first fight. That would be unfortunate. So, unit deployment. Let's see how far these wolves can go. We need to make sure they can't get to us right away. So we will probably stay where we are. Space. Come on. There we go. And let's see our options. Which spells do we have? Burning Ray that deals 62 to 93 damage, inflicts burning debuff on units. And then we have Stone Skin, which is unavailable for some reason, but probably wouldn't use that anyway. When we jump out of here, how much mana do we have? We have 4 mana available for this fight. And 1 Burning Ray costs 2 mana, so we can use 2 Burning Rays during this fight. Is this gonna destroy them? Nope. This could maybe destroy one of them. There we go. So one of them died. That's what we wanted. Oh, right, initiative order. I am blind. How far can you go? Let's just get rid of him, I think. I was hoping he wouldn't have enough damage to kill one of our wolves. So our units get some experience, our hero gets some experience, and we have won the first fight. Here's our reward, 96 gold, and the healing 1, for which we need Magic of Life and Light, and that's gonna be our top priority, because without healing during fights, it's very difficult to go without losses. So this is probably the first thing that we're gonna learn, get access to the life magic. And it didn't really take too long to win this fight, so let's just have a look around. Shouldn't take too long. What do we get? The beret, that's just an item that we're gonna sell. Just garbage. Nothing that we can equip. Oh. There's someone there.
Are you from Crucis? Hurry up and get over here. There's trouble. Help!
Well, let's actually talk to this guy. I don't think that we'll immediately have to follow him.
Are you from Crucis? Quickly, come with us. Run.
I'm not running anywhere. Explain yourself.
I'm a lumberjack. We're nothing but dwarven woodcutters, honest. We cut down trees and send the lumber onto Crucis. The humans have all left the valley. Only us and a few locals remain. Stein is our chief. So then this Lupin, a man from Riggin, arrives at our village. He was stirring up trouble, trying to recruit the remaining human hunters to join him in his wicked deeds. Then Lupin's men seized the village. They captured Stein and are trying to start a fight with the dwarves. Things could easily turn bloody. We took them in purely out of kindness, and this is how they repay us. Disgusting! Help us! Quick, run!
Okay, so that's a new quest. We definitely don't have to follow him right away. I want to check the rest of the village.
Oh, I read about this statue. I need to find its hands.
Okay, so there's one hand.
Just the thing.
Can we attach it? We can. And there should be one more somewhere. I, Count Batil, launched the restoration of the Albion Highlands and the entire Midnight Land of Nostria. I also laid down the stones of the fortress of Crucis and 2 settlements to the north and the south, dreaming of prosperity of my people who came here from Lorien. Okay, so let's try to find his hands. Out here. I've done this during my test run. Problem is the test run was more than a month ago. That's some money here. Okay, just need to sell all of this somewhere. There it is.
More.
There's the other arm.
It doesn't work. Let's raise one of the hands.
It's just the start of the game, so like the devs probably wanted to show what you can do in the game, because when the character tells you exactly what you are supposed to do to get to the treasure, it's not really that challenging, but I promise later the game gets much more like interesting. When I did the test run, the start felt, I don't know, just a little too easy, unfinished, just weird. But as I get later to the game, it just gets so much better. Ray of Light, that will be useful. Gold traveling hat, that might actually even be equipable. Yep. Health +1. That's army influence, so our units should have extra hit point, I think. Yeah, that's how it should work. Each unit gets 1 extra hit point, 64. if I remove it, is it gonna be 63? If I can even remove it. There we go. 63. Yeah, that's how it works. Well, +1 hit point doesn't really mean anything, but hey, sometimes 1 hit point could make a difference between losing a unit and having it survive. What else? This is where we found the hand, so let's keep going clockwise around all of the houses. Nothing here. That's the end of the village. Let's check what this is. Ancient legend. I think we got experience. Yeah, we got experience. And we got enough to get a level up. Maybe that is worth checking. Here, 1 talent point. So, what we want the most is the life and light magic. Let's go with that. And as you can see, the skills or talents are in groups, and each group belongs to a different alignment: anarchy, finesse, power, and order. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I guess it affects our options in dialogues based on the direction at which we are heading. As you can see here, it adds points. But I guess we will have to discover this as we play. Also, each of these have multiple levels. I think 3 levels. So with each level, for example, here into the schools of magic, we can then upgrade spells, make them more powerful. But those are things for higher levels. So that's the magic stuff. And now, how do we get to the Book of Magic? This way. Cool. So here, we can't upgrade, as you can see. But we can... how do we get to scrolls? That's how we get to scrolls. So we need 20 mana to learn healing, and then 20 mana to learn Ray of Light. In this game, mana is... you get mana in a form of mana crystals, and it's similar currency to gold, except you're just buying magic for it. Currently we have 18 mana, so that's not enough to learn anything, and we have to think about how we use these things, because this is the same currency that we are using to cast spells in combat. So if I didn't cast that spell in combat, we would have exactly 20. I would be able to learn healing, which would be useless because then I wouldn't have mana to use it in combat. So we just need to get more, and we always have to make sure that when we are upgrading and learning spells, we always have enough left to then use those spells in combat. Okay, there is something here. Not much. Come on, give me mana somewhere. Nothing there. There is a chest. Bill of Death. Bills of Death. Frostblade. It's another spell. Townsman's Shoes. That looks like a piece of usable gear. And mana, that's what we are looking for. So let's pick up everything. That's critical hit +1. So again, anything that's under army influence adds stats to our units directly. So all the units in our army have +1 crit and all have +1 health. What is this? Useless trash. But we got that mana, so let's jump back to the book. Wait. Oh, we did get the scroll. I thought that we didn't get the option to use this scroll. No, it's just a different school of magic. Where is it? Here. So let's actually check the Ray of Light. Deals 50% damage and inflicts incineration debuff on an enemy. Unit takes 10 to 14 damage at the beginning of its turn. No, we have a spell that does basically the same thing. Just, I guess it's a different damage type. This one is not sure what it is. Like vitality damage or something like that. This is fire damage. Yep. Okay, let's learn that. Get out of here. Pretty sure I'm gonna miss something here in the village, but that happens. We don't have to go up there, although may as well. I don't think it goes too far. I vaguely remember the beginning. Let's see, just in case there is something for us to pick up, or is it? Oh, it's closed. Never mind. You have to do some quest to open that gate. I'll just finish looting the village, and I think that's gonna be all for this episode. Just the first episode, so it's more or less just an introduction. Nothing here. I think we have like 3 more houses to check. Nothing there. I'll take that. Check all of that, and I think there is nothing here. Cool. So, I think we're gonna make a cut here. Next time, I think we'll to continue in this direction and do the come on, the lumberjack camp later. But yeah, no matter in which direction we go, it's gonna be next time. So I hope that you like this episode. I hope that you're gonna join me next time again. And until then, have a good time. Bye bye.